Okay, I was jealous for a real long time. I'm not gonna lie. That's why it took me 8 years of paying off my student loans before I even made progress on paying off my student loans. I always wish I made more money, or I wish I had less debt, but in reality, that wasn't building wealth. And once I figured that out, and once I stopped comparing myself to my friends, I was able to actually make progress towards my debt, and I was able to reduce all the stress and anxiety that I had around my financial situation. So how do we stop comparing ourselves to others? Let's dive into all the things that I used to say, all the comparisons that I used to make that just stopped me from building wealth, and you can learn from my mistakes and you can just jump to the part about getting rich. Okay, jealousy is a real thing, and I didn't make progress on paying off debt and building wealth until I realized that by comparing myself to other people, I wasn't going to get to where I wanted in life, and it didn't do me any good because I was just stressed out constantly. One thing that I was doing quite a bit that was limiting me building wealth was I was comparing my income and my debt to other people. I always thought, oh, it must be nice to make X amount of money, or I wish I only had X amount of debt, when in reality, we all have our own situations, and it doesn't mean that my amount of debt was too much, or when compared to other people, it was actually not very much money. And so when I stopped comparing my situation with other people, I was able to actually move forward and make progress. I was actually able to use my income and be okay with my income and use that as a tool and a resource to pay off my debt. Because it doesn't matter if your friend is making more money than you. What if they have more debt than you? Or a friend that makes less money than you but has cheaper monthly expenses, and so they can actually pay off more debt than you. We're all very different, and we shouldn't be using that as an excuse to building wealth, or we shouldn't be using it to get in the way of ourselves. Next, we need to realize that our dreams and our paths are very different than those from our friends, and sometimes they're more similar than I'm maybe making it seem, but just because your friend bought a new car doesn't mean that that's what you want for your life. And it's okay to be happy for them and proud of what they're doing without feeling like you have to be doing the same thing. We all have FOMO, fear of missing out, and just because a friend bought a new thing or paid off a certain thing or got that new job doesn't mean that you're not doing great with your situation and in your life. And so when I was able to stop comparing my situation and being okay with, this is the path that I want for my life, these are the things that I want to accomplish, and everything else that's happening around me with my friends and family is just noise and clutter. It's great for them, but it's not something that I need to be doing. That's when I was able to actually see clarity, have less stress, and focus on what was truly important in my life. And that brings me to realizing that just because your friend bought that car doesn't mean there wasn't debt that came along with it. And this is a really big important one, because we often see the outcome of a purchase, right? We see the new boat, we see the cabin up north, the new car, the fancy purse, and these are all just things, but we don't realize, did that person have to put that on a credit card? Did that person have to go into debt, take out a loan? And we often just see the new lifestyle inflation, and we see the fancy new thing, but we don't realize what actually did they have to sacrifice to get that thing. And you wouldn't want that new car if you knew there was a $500 monthly payment that came along with it, right? And so by asking ourselves, what is our priorities in our life, and not comparing ourselves to others, we're able to actually make progress in our goals, reduce our stress, and just have a little bit less anxiety, because what you see on social media and what you see your friends pull up in or what they buy doesn't always mean that true happiness came because of that item. Maybe they bought it because someone else had a new car and they thought they needed to keep up, or they bought the bigger house because they thought that that was what they were supposed to do, and in realities, it's not always the case. So by taking a little bit of time and a little bit of effort to focus on ourselves and what makes us happy, we stop worrying about other people and what they're doing. Remember, your debt might just be a small amount of money when other people are comparing themselves to you. And just because you feel like the stress and the overwhelm of your situation is maybe something that you can't overcome. It actually is something that you absolutely can. You just have to focus on yourself, your priorities, your income, and use all of your resources to the best of their ability, because only you know what makes you truly happy, and only you know the path that you want to take. And so let's stop comparing ourselves and judging ourselves and being hard on ourselves when we're just all here to do the best that we can. And when we remember that, we're able to find pure happiness in our lives. So thanks again. Like and subscribe to my channel, and be sure to check out next week's video where we always talk about things money, budgeting, and just living our happiest lives. See you later.